In the news at noon, House of Representatives mandate federal government to establish clay processing factory in Oruk, Anam local government area. Nigeria's Center for Disease Control records 154 new COVID-19 cases, with 11 in Akwa Ibom. Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State Commander Amiengeme Andrew meets with stakeholders from Oron Nation over recent extra-judicial killing of one Daniel Ukpe. At the foreign scene, Australia's largest city, Sydney, extends COVID-19 lockdown to fight Delta variant outbreak. In sports, Nigeria D Tigers suffer heavy defeat to world number 3 Australia in pre-Olympic friendly. The details coming up shortly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on 101.1 FM Uyo. I am Samuel Williams. We begin the news this afternoon with the report that President Buhari has received the reports of the House of Representatives Security Summit held in May this year at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, presented the report to the President. Addressing State House correspondents thereafter, the Speaker said both the executive and legislative arms of government have been assigned specific roles to help address insecurity in the country. According to him, if the two arms of government implement fully the recommendations contained in the report, the problem would be fully addressed.
Hopeful and believe that many of the recommendations, both the legislative and the executive, once implemented, will go a long way to resolving some of the issues, if not all, some of the issues that pervade our society in terms of security. We felt that it was time that we thought outside the box, that we begin to look at different ways as opposed to the traditional way.
Now, still from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has mandated the federal government to establish a China clay processing factory in Oruk local government area for Akwa Ibom State in order to further diversify the nation's economy. The decision was reached during plenary following a motion brought before it by the Deputy Chairman Communications Committee and member representing Ukanafun, Oruk Federal Constituency, Amiengeme.
I rise this morning to move a motion on the need for the federal government to harness the large deposit of China clay in Oruk local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The House notes that Section 44 sub 3 and Item 39 of the exclusive legislative list, second schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, vests the control and management of natural resources and hydrocarbon operations on the federal government for the common good and the benefit of the citizens. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Leading the debate during plenary, Idem decried a situation where a revenue-generating resource like clay found in commercial quantity in Ukbum Edemiang, Orok local government area, is allowed to waste and at the mercy of trespassers who explore it indiscriminately.
Aware that the large deposit of China's clay lying waste in Ukbum Edemiang, Ekparakwa clan, Orok local government area of Akwa Ibom State, which is left at the mercy of the inhabitants of the community who use it indiscriminately. Also aware that Section 2 of the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007 vests control of all properties and minerals in Nigeria to the federal government in accordance with the Land Use Act.
After an extensive debate and due consideration of the motion, the House, presided over by Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, mandated the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to establish a clay processing factory in Oruk after he asked that the title of the motion be corrected.
Okay, so what you do now is when you move your bill, or you debate it, change the title so that we'll know we're falling under the definition of Minerals Act. So there must be a reason why they call it China, and he has defined China clay to include aluminium, whatever. So change your title to China clay. Don't leave it at China.
The House also resolved that the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, through the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, should visit the quarries in Okpom Edemiyang village to ascertain the level of resources available. And from the Red Chambers, the Senate yesterday rejected the nomination of Loretta Onochie as the National Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The chairman of the committee, Kabiru Gaya, in his report said Onochie did not satisfy the provisions of the federal character principles. Hence, the committee of the whole subsequently voted against her nomination.
In the case of Ms. Loretta Onochie, the 8th Senate passed based on the recommendation of its INEC committee, confirmed Barrister May Obamuche Mbu from Delta State as the National Commissioner of INEC, who is still serving at present. Therefore, confirming the nomination of Mrs. Loretta Onochie from the same Delta State will be a violation of federal character principles.
According to him, the committee received several petitions against the nominations of Onochie and Professor Sani Adam, adding that the petitions against Onochie were against the backdrop of her involvement in politics and alleged membership of a political party. In his remarks, the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, had put Onochie's nomination into a voice vote where the lawmakers collectively rejected her.
Will the Senate approve the nomination of Loretta Onochie as a commissioner representing Delta State in the Independent National Electoral Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
Recall that the presidential aide Onochie, during her screening for the appointments on the floor of the Senate, said she had stopped involving herself in political matters after the 2019 general elections.
When President Muhammadu Buhari won his second term, I have removed myself from anything political.
However, the Senate confirmed 5 other nominees following the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on INEC. In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says Senate's rejection of the nomination of Loretta Onochie as a National Commissioner with the Independent National Electoral Commission is victory for democracy and for Nigerians. Speaking to newsmen, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Kola Ologbondiyan, said the rejection saved Nigeria from serious crisis that may befall the country in the 2023 general elections.
Nomination of Loretta Onochie was rejected by the Senate. The first thought process that came through my mind was that this is a triumph of the will of Nigerians and a victory for our democracy. Because the nomination of, or let me call it the nomination of Onochie for screening and confirmation, shows a deliberate ploy to subvert the electoral process ahead of the 2023 election. And that was very worrisome to the People's Democratic Party and also to majority of Nigerians.
The party therefore commended Nigerians, including civil society organizations, the media, as well as other political parties, for joining forces with the PDP in fighting for the sanctity of the electoral process by resisting Onochie's nomination. Back here, Akwa Ibom state government has announced that the Ikono-Ikono flyover and its environs will be closed to human and vehicular traffic from 6 a.m. today, Wednesday, July 14, till 3 p.m. Friday, July 16 this year. A release made available to Planet News and signed by the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Amiengeme, says the closure, which is approved by the State Governor Udom Emmanuel, is to allow unfettered access to the contractor to adequately prepare the site for inauguration. The release, while stating that inconveniences that may arise from the action are sincerely regretted, however, advised the general public to take alternative routes and adhere strictly to the notice, as security agencies have been detailed to enforce the order. On security, the Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State Command, CP Amiengeme Andrew, has met with some stakeholders from Oron Nation over the recent killing of one Daniel Ukpe, after policemen from the IG squad reportedly engaged in a squabble with members of Oruk Borders Traders Association after an election of the group held on the 9th of July. Speaking with Planet News correspondent Anthony Essen at the State Police Command Ikorobanabia, a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police Amber Asukwa Amber, who is also from the area, said the Commissioner of Police has assured that justice will be served in the matter.
Yes, it was really a meeting with the Commissioner, with some of the victims and aggrieved persons from Oron, and we quite appreciate the way he gave all assurance on action taken so far, action that is yet to be taken, and action that will be taken. And what we are trying to do is a damage control so that things will not go out of hand, and to ensure that justice is done, to reassure the Oron nation that this very incident will not go under the cover, that justice will be done. And so everybody needs to maintain the peace and tranquility that we have been having in Oron.
Amber would describe the situation as unfortunate. One said the conduct of the police officers involved in the operation on the surface appeared unprofessional, adding that those found culpable would not go unpunished.
I think it's equally a very unfortunate situation because in Oron there had been a very cordial relationship between the citizenry and the police in Oron. So for it to have gone to that level of somebody dying is quite unfortunate. And like I would say, the Commissioner of Police is actually looking into the matter, and the people involved on whoever's part, there is no hiding place for such people, because with the experience of NSAS, everybody needs to be very professional. And I think this was one action, I'm not running into judgment, that from the surface level looks very, very unprofessional.
On her part, the Vice President one of Oruk Union, Barrister Ann Ayo, who was part of the team, said the meeting with the Commissioner of Police was very successful.
The meeting was very successful. We have highlighted our grievances, and the Commissioner of Police gave us his words that he has taken proactive measures to forestall the reoccurrence of such by reporting to the IG that the IG squad should always first report to him before they go anywhere to take action. And we've had a very cordial discussion, very useful, and he has taken up the matter by telling those who were eyewitnesses to go and give their report. And he has encouraged us to write our petition to send to the AIG that this incident will never be swept under the carpet.
Planet News had reported earlier that one person identified as Daniel Ukpe died after sustaining gunshot injury, while others said to be critically injured were being hospitalized after police personnel allegedly fired shots at a group of youth in Oron local government area. Meanwhile, the police has said that its men resorted to using firearms on the youth after they attempted to disarm them, an allegation that has been disputed by eyewitnesses and residents in the area. On health issues, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has recorded 154 new COVID-19 cases, with Akwa Ibom State recording 11 new cases. The NCDC disclosed this on its official website, stating that the new infections indicates a decline from the 161 cases recorded a day earlier. The NCDC said Lagos State, the epicenter of the deadly virus, recorded 119 cases, Rivers 6, Ekiti 4, Ogun 4, the FCT and Gombe reported 2 each, while Kwara State registered 1. You're listening to the news on 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and bring you more from the foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Stay with us.
The power of the people is so much stronger than the people in power.
The office of the citizen is the most important office in the land.
The real power belongs to the people.
Let the people know that the power is in their hands.
Find out how every Wednesday on Iaitok Hour, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. on Planet 101.1 FM.
Thank you for staying with us On a foreign scene, residents of Australia's largest city, Sydney, will be in lockdown longer than expected as the stay-at-home orders, which started in late June, have been extended until July 30. Reports say almost 1,000 infections have been recorded since the outbreak began near Bondi Beach. Elsewhere, about 17 people have died after a hotel collapsed in the eastern Chinese city of Suzhou. After 36 hours of search operations, rescue workers found 23 people buried in the rubble, 6 of whom were found alive. A preliminary investigation found the collapse was caused by the owner altering the structure of the building. Meanwhile, the Jiangsu provincial government says an investigation team was looking into the accident, adding that relevant individuals would face criminal charges. To sports, Nigeria's D Tigers have suffered a heavy defeat to third-ranked team in the world, Australia, in their final friendly game ahead of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Mike Brown's sides were blown away by a massive 39 points as the Aussies triumphed 108-69. It was a total domination from Australia, who claimed the first quarter by 26-13 and took a 49-29 lead into halftime. And by the end of the third quarter, the score stood at 84-46 in favor of Australia, who will be making their 15th appearance at the Olympics. The Tigers will hope to avenge the defeat when they take on Australia in the group stage of the Olympics. From the entertainment scene, BB Niger star Tolani Baj, an Instagram comedian, Nasty Black, have sparked a relationship rumor following an Insta story by the comedian. Black, during a question and answer session with his followers, was asked if he was in a relationship with anyone, and he responded by posting a video of him opening a car for the reality show star. Now, recall that during the reunion show, Tolani Baj, during a confrontation with V, repeatedly said she is in a healthy relationship after a romance with co-reality show star Prince Ewerem went sour. And that's been the news on 101.1 FM. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. Up till the President Muhammadu Buhari has received the report of the House of Representatives Security Summit held in May this year at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. House of Representatives has mandated the federal government to establish a China clay processing factory in Oruk local government area of Akwa Ibom State in order to further diversify the nation's economy. The Commissioner of Police Akwa Ibom State Command, CP Amiengeme Andrew, has met with some stakeholders from Oron Nation over the recent killing of one Daniel Ukpe after the policeman from the IG squad reportedly engaged in a squabble with members of Oron Borders Traders Association after an election of the group held on the 9th of July. At the foreign scene, we told you that residents of Australia's largest city, Sydney, will be in lockdown longer than expected as the stay-at-home orders, which started in late June, have been extended until July 30. In sports, we reported Nigeria's D Tigers have suffered a heavy defeat to third-ranked team Australia in a final friendly game ahead of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Now, for comments and coverage of the newsworthy events, you can call our newsroom on 0812-7702-940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and also like our Facebook page at Planet 101 FM. The news is edited by Anthony Essen. As we end the news, please bear in mind that it is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Let's embrace the beauties in our diversities. I am Samuel Williams. Good afternoon, and please stay safe.
Akwa Ibom, oyememem. Akwa Ibom, yemawana bao. Obong bok, bongo wanu bok. Nyung tongontak, bongo wanu kot. Akwa Ibom, oyememem.